Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now in today's episode we're going to be checking out another small box of a desktop computer that I picked up a while ago. This one, as you can see, I found at a thrift store for $5 and I pretty much got it because it looks rather interesting. It kind of looks like a custom build PC of some kind. There aren't any logos here on the front, no brand names or anything like that, but there is this one sticker at the top that says Impart Media Group, based out of Seattle, Washington. Now, I went to this website and found that the domain is now owned by a company based in Australia, which appears to be completely separate. And sure enough, when I looked at business filings in Washington, I found that the Impart Media headquartered there was inactive as of 2008. But if we take a look at old snapshots of their website from around that time, we can see that one of the things this company specialized in was digital signage. And one of the products they sold was the Impart IQ box, a machine designed to build a digital signage network and, help you manage it and all that kind of stuff. And well, that's what we seem to have here. So today what we're going to do is open this thing up. We'll see what hardware we've got inside, and hopefully there'll be something on the hard drive that we can boot off of, because I really want to take a look at the software and see what this thing could do. Yeah, I know you guys are probably experiencing a little bit of deja vu if you saw my Dell Optiplex video that I published recently, just on a much smaller scale, because yeah, this thing is pretty tiny, but it looks like we have all the hardware we need. Well, with the exception of an optical drive, because there's clearly a spot for that here, but they did not use it, and we still have the panel there on the front. But we've got a hard drive here with a date of August 2005. So I'm guessing we're going to have either Windows XP, Windows Embedded, or maybe some Linux distro on here. If there's even anything on here, which there very well might not be. Looks like we have a single stick of RAM, which let's just see if we can pop this out here. I do want to just disassemble this entire system and also, give it a good cleaning, because there is, some dust. There's actually, unfortunately, some rust on this system as well. I'll just show you on the fans here. You see we got some, it's like rust in there, kind of unfortunate. But I will definitely clean this up to the best of my ability. But yeah, this looks to be a 1GB DDR2 stick, and that's actually, I think, the only RAM slot that we have on here, because there's not one next to this. I don't see one over here. We've got what looks like a PCI slot. So yeah, I mean, there could be maybe like on this side of the motherboard, we just have to take everything out, but yeah, we very well may just have this one RAM slot, so we'll see if maybe we can upgrade, because I've got a bunch of DDR2 memory. But yeah, let's just start with, looks like we got to remove these screws here, and then there's these two over by the hard drive. So that should allow us to take this entire thing out. And we will go ahead and disconnect. I guess we can just disconnect the power and data cables from the hard drive, and we'll set that aside. So we've got the motherboard over here to the right, and it looks like we have some power supply circuitry here. Now, this thing does have a barrel connector you might see on like a laptop, so it doesn't have like a dedicated, built-in power supply unit. But it does have this board over here, which does look like it's got some bloating capacitors, unfortunately. And I just took a look at this CPU cooler. Oh my gosh, this thing is rusted. I don't know how well that shows up on camera, but let's just pull this thing out and see this poor little CPU. Is this an Intel CPU? That is indeed an Intel CPU, a Pentium M specifically, clocked at 1.73 gigahertz. Alright, so there's been a couple of developments with this thing. I actually went ahead and took it out in my garage and took it apart a little bit more, just to take some compressed air to it to blow out all the dust in here. This was not the dirtiest system I've ever seen by a long shot, but I just wanted to do that so it's a little bit cleaner in here. And I also tried to find a replacement CPU cooler that I could use, but unfortunately I didn't have anything on hand, so I am going to have to order one, which I will certainly do, because I mean, as you saw, this thing is pretty rusted. So yeah, I just reapplied it here, and so we got it back on. As for the power supply situation with these capacitors, I really just don't want to risk these things blowing up. They do look a little bit bloated, like I said. These ones up here look fine. The ones on the motherboard look fine. But, you know, if I'm just going to get new caps for this, I'll just probably get new caps for the entire motherboard. And, you know, it's a good practice anyways. I mean, these capacitors are pretty old by now, so they are certainly in need of replacing. But for this video, I went ahead and grabbed an ATX power supply. We're just going to hook that up to the motherboard and see if we can get it to power on that way, just so we don't risk anything. I was also able to find the manual for the motherboard here. This is manufactured by a company called iBase, and it's the MB896-R. It's a mini ITX motherboard, and it supports either Pentium M's or Celeron M processors, obviously, that are, you know, compatible with the chipset and everything, up to 2.26 gigahertz. And it does, as you saw, only have one slot for memory, and the maximum you can put in there is 1 gigabyte. So this system is already maxed out in terms of RAM. We are going to put this back in here momentarily. But yeah, I will link this manual down below if anybody just wants to, you know, peruse through it if you happen to find one of these systems. Funnily enough, I found this exact motherboard for sale on eBay for $345. So I hope I don't have to buy that. But, you know, let's just slot the memory back in. Let me rotate this around so I can do it a little bit better here. And we'll get this thing powered on. Now, we're obviously going to have to leave the top cover off because we're going to have a power cable running out of it. But I'm just going to reconnect the hard drive there. Or maybe just set that here for now. And let me just grab the ATX connector on the power supply. We'll plug that into the motherboard. And let me grab the power connector for the hard drive. And we will hook that up. Alright, well, in the words of Action Retro, I think we've got ourselves a totally normal computing setup here. And yeah, let's just power it on, see if she works. Okay, we got a post beep. And there we go. I want to definitely press delete to enter setup here. Alright, so we've got a Phoenix Award BIOS on here, not terribly surprising. And under our CMOS setup, looks like the date is set to January 1st, 2005. And yeah, there's our Samsung drive right there. Drive A is configured as a 1.44 megabyte 3.5 inch floppy drive. We could just set that to none, but I'm just going to leave everything the way it was. We'll just leave it at default and just save our changes that we didn't make and exit. And yeah, we'll just see if there's anything on the hard drive. So there we go. It's detected our processor, memory testing. Again, it posted, so that's all good. And yeah, I am really curious. I'm thinking Windows XP. That's what I want to say. But it could be like Windows Embedded. It's Windows XP. Check that out. Although not necessarily, because I think some Windows Embedded versions do have like just the Windows XP boot screen. So... Oh, I've got a Apple keyboard plugged in. It hasn't recognized the USB ports on it yet, so I've got the mouse plugged into that, but we got we got nothing. Nothing a quick USB swap won't fix, though. Alright, that's much better. And Ken, Crazy Ken confirmed. Let's see if there's a password on here. No, there is not. Thank you. Wouldn't be too terrible to bypass, but now I don't have to do that. So this looks like just a regular Windows XP install, not Doppler. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. That just took me back like however many, 10, 15 years ago? No, more than 10 years ago, jeez. Yeah, so, okay, this is just like a regular XP install. We've got a few programs on here. So I'm curious, like, is that software, you know, was that something you would have to run, you know, assuming the system wasn't repurposed? Maybe this was just repurposed as like just a desktop computer. Which is what it's looking like, because I would think, you know, it sounded like from what I looked at on the website for this thing that it was just kind of like, you know, a system specifically meant for digital signage stuff. We do have this EasyGig 4, day created 2013. Okay, so this thing might have actually gotten some use into the 2010s. Let's just start that up and see what this is. Not the same company name. EasyGig 4 with data select. Interesting. Okay, so this is like a disk utility program, maybe? Yeah, cloning. Okay, so this has nothing to do with the, you know, impart media, impart IQ. So let's just go back into the start menu, I guess, and we'll just kind of explore this hard drive and see what we have on it, which doesn't look like a whole lot. I mean, we got Google Earth here. Under Startup, we have Windows Search. We've got, you know, some Microsoft stuff, Microsoft Security Essentials, Vinyl Deck, and Adobe Reader. So, what's Vinyl Deck here? Not heard of this software. Alright, well, not surprisingly, it's like an audio player. Yep, VIA Technologies, speaker, mixer. Yeah, so you got... yeah, a whole bunch of controls here, so that's nice. We don't have the speakers from this monitor plugged in. I could certainly do that if there's like audio files on here that we want to play. But on the desktop, in addition to this shortcut to not Doppler, we have... oh, this is the user's manual for the motherboard. Alright, we'll sign our life away to Adobe, and yeah, this is exactly the same revision and everything that I was looking at before. We also have this text document that has the same motherboard name. It was modified January 2nd, 2013. And that is an HTML document, so, you know, I guarantee you the person, like, you know, tried to download the PDF and just ended up downloading the page. In fact... this folder right here is, yep, here's all the stuff. Yep, there's the motherboard photo. So yeah, they just downloaded the entire web page, but for some reason saved this as a text document. We can just rename that. Oh, I gotta turn on file extensions. Let's just do that really quickly here. Tools, folder options, view, show hidden files and folders is already on, but we want to uncheck hide extensions. And yeah, we'll just rename this to oh, it is a .htm. Oh, they just had it open with Notepad, so we will open with Internet Explorer. And yeah, there we go. So that's what the website looked like back then. So okay, you got that. We have this not Doppler shortcut. We've got Windows XP Service Pack 3. We've got a setup executable for that. The manual, IE. And then we've got, what is this? A text document? Okay, it's an error number. The website has encountered a problem and cannot display the page you're trying to view. The options provided below might help you solve the problem. I'm guessing, you know, someone just copied this into here to have, you know, for like reference. Just out of curiosity, I looked this up, and this is a JavaScript runtime error. So yeah, there you go. And we've got Intel ProSet.zip, WinDRV, probably some drivers. Okay, it's a yeah, it's for a network card here. We also have Google Earth on the desktop. I'm curious what version this is. 7.1.2.2041 from 2013. So yeah, it really seems like around 2013 is when this computer was put out of service. But let's go into documents here. Alright, not really anything in there. How about in downloads? Alright, we got setup executables for... looks like DirectX, the Easy Gig thing, and Microsoft Security Essentials. My pictures, nope, just the sample ones. My videos, got nothing. I mean, who used that folder anyways? My music, just got the sample music. My received files, nothing. So, yeah, this person either used the documents folders, it just wiped everything, or maybe they just stored everything on the root of the C drive, which, let's see, doesn't look like it. We've got this RHD setup.log. Alright, so that's for a Realtek driver. We've got, what is this? Okay, a cab file, SFX, sound effects maybe? And another long-winded name here. This is, yeah, looks like a driver, AMD 64, yeah, so cool. Intel logs, Intel chipset log, program files. Just see what we got in here. Okay, so we have Marvel, Minipore driver, alright, Marvel 72113, another driver, Messenger, you know, all your standard Windows stuff, Intel ProSet, Intel, NetMeeting, On Networks, looks like another driver. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not, VIA setup, vinyl, components, DLLs. Let's see this log file. Setup log initiated, installing via AC97 vinyl INF driver. So yeah, it just seems like we got a bunch of drivers on here. And this, you know, I'm guessing, judging from this shortcut on the desktop, this was probably used to, like, you know, maybe by this guy's kid to, you know, play games online and stuff. And then also used as a cloning system, perhaps. And also to, you know, play audio files and stuff with this vinyl program. Alright, so I've spent some time running a data recovery program on this hard drive to see if there's any files that were recoverable, which there were, but none of them have to do with the digital signage functionality that this system originally had. And that has to do with the fact that this computer was most definitely repurposed as a personal machine at some points, because I was actually able to find the getting started guide for the Impact Media iCube system, the box that we have here, and it seems that this entire thing was fully network based. This was meant to be a headless system that you would plug in and then access from another computer and configure remotely, which makes sense because, you know, if you had a fleet of these machines in an office building or a conference center, you don't want to have to go around to each one to, you know, update what signage is going to be displayed through them. So what probably could have ended up happening is this person, Ken, might have worked for a company that used these computers and they were being decommissioned. They sold some, or, you know, just gave them away to their employees, and that's how this person ended up with one. Could have just been bought, you know, secondhand like I did. Really have no way of knowing that, but regardless, now it's a Windows XP machine, and it's definitely a neat little system. You know, it's certainly rather limited in terms of expansion, both in how much you can fit in the case, and also just like, I mean, like I said, it can only have 1 GB of RAM maximum. So to be honest, I'm probably not going to do a whole lot with this system other than replace the CPU cooler and recap it. And I don't know, maybe it'll show up in a future video at some point. We could put Linux on this thing, make it a nice little Linux box. But I figured for the rest of this video, you know, I was going to follow the Half-Life rule that we've made for ourselves on this channel, but I figured today we'd change things up a little bit because you guys might have noticed for the past couple videos I've had these lovely DVD cases up here, and one of those is Command & Conquer: The First Decade. So yeah, we're going to install Command & Conquer on this thing because I've got a USB DVD drive right here. We'll pop in the game DVD, and we'll go ahead and run through the installation wizard. Now, I did go ahead and hook up the audio cable to the monitor speakers, so we've got that working. And one of the most annoying things about this First Decade pack is the fact that you have like a million serials to enter. You have a serial for Command & Conquer: The First Decade. And for those who don't know, this is a compilation of a bunch of different Command & Conquer games. Command & Conquer: The First Decade is not a game in and of itself. And if you're not too familiar with Command & Conquer, well, allow me to introduce it to you. This is one of my favorite game series of all time. I spent a lot of time playing Red Alert 2 and the Yuri's Revenge expansion pack specifically when I was younger, and it still remains my favorite out of the Command & Conquer games. But yeah, so we're going to enter in the first serial, and then we're going to go to custom because I'm actually just going to get Red Alert 2 and Yuri's Revenge. Sorry Renegade, sorry Generals, sorry Tiberian Sun and the original Red Alert and the original Command & Conquer. Because we're only going to play a little bit of Yuri's Revenge in this video, and also I don't feel like entering in all these freaking serials because look at this. When you hit next here, it's going to come up and ask you to enter in a serial for each individual game. Because, you know, EA, being the frickin' people they are, couldn't figure out a way to, you know, consolidate that a little bit. And there we go, we're installing in the far more boring install shield wizard. These games originally had, you know, if you just bought the original release of the game itself, they always had these really cool install wizards that were like extremely immersive and had all these, you know, sound effects and like mission briefings. You know, this is a real-time strategy military game where you're, you know, commanding a bunch of units. So it's just got this really nice like immersive feel in the installer, which is just super awesome. Alright, so we restarted. We are logging back in, slowly but surely. Actually, I think there's like an annoying thing that comes up from the EA like registration wizard the first time that you restart. Yep, here it is. Okay, now we gotta go in here. EA Games, Command & Conquer: The First Decade, Command & Conquer: The First Decade. Wait for this logo to come up and go away. Wait for this to come up and go away. And it would do that every single time. It was very obnoxious. And it also, I'm pretty sure, requires the CD to be in. So, like, let me just eject it, and we'll try to launch Yuri's Revenge, and I think it just says, please insert the disc. There was a patch someone developed for the First Decade launcher. Yep, there it is. Please insert the correct CD-ROM. So, we'll hit OK. Yeah, there's a patch somebody developed for this launcher that got rid of the CD check, and it also got rid of those two like splash screens that came up every single time you would launch the launcher. You could also just, you know, create a shortcut to the game executable itself that you want to run to just bypass this launcher entirely. But yeah, so we'll exit out of this, we'll launch Yuri's Revenge, and we'll play a little bit of this. And yeah, I know I'm kind of like dumping on EA, which, I mean, who doesn't? But EA did, like, when they bought Westwood Studios, they eventually, you know, they kind of left Westwood alone for a little while, and then they just kind of, like, dissolved the entire company. And after that, the series just wasn't really the same, at least for me. So we're just gonna do a real simple game here. We'll play against a medium enemy. You know what? We'll leave it on random, just to leave it up to chance. I really hope it doesn't pick Yuri, because it's so, one of the, like, funniest things about this, you know, menu system to me is each of the countries has their own like special ability. So, you know, there's three sides in Yuri's Revenge. There's the Allies, there's the like Soviet aligned states, and then you've got Yuri, and they each have different abilities. So like if you go into America, it says Americans can drop paratroopers. Koreans can build Black Eagle jets. If you go down to, let's see, Russia, Russians can build Tesla tanks. You go to Yuri's side is unique. Because Yuri's side is unique. Yuri had mind control capabilities, which is why it makes it kind of annoying to play against. Really fun to play as. But we're gonna turn off super weapons, because I wouldn't really play with super weapons. Short game is fine, just makes it so you don't have to, you know, kill everybody's individual units. Just when they destroy all of your buildings is when you lose. And yeah, we'll just leave it on that, and we'll just leave it on the default map too. And I'm already finding myself like explaining things about this game, even though like this is not a video about this game at all. I hope this doesn't end up being like a super long video, but I don't know. I'm just kind of having fun at this point. I mean, this is kind of that point in the video where like, okay, we've done. Oh, the game speed is a little bit too fast here too. Turn it down to like, I think just fast is what I would usually play on. Yeah, you would have to be really quick here in the beginning, especially if you're playing against like a brutal enemy, because they would just start building stuff. And if you set it on like fast speed, the like CPU is just gonna go like in super like overdrive and just build a million things, and like you're not gonna be able to keep up with them. So yeah, basically what you're doing. Actually, I want to build barracks first. We're not gonna attack that building. We're just gonna build some buildings, build some units, try to take out the enemy. I mean, it's you know, your typical RTS style game. So we'll get some units going here. Get some GIs, some Guardian GIs, and wait for our ore refinery to build so we can start getting some money. And yeah, so this map is definitely not. It's not a super large map, which, oh, kind of got some lag there, which is going to certainly make the game go a little bit shorter. So there's our ore refinery. We'll drop that maybe. Oh, we got a oil derrick here too, so let me just build an engineer, or train an engineer. We'll actually just get him going like first in the queue there, and get all these guys going. Start building a bit of a perimeter here. That's not one of my units. Alright, so there's our engineer. We'll capture that. We'll move these guys, kind of build a bit of a barrier. It's just like, in the beginning, it's just a million, like, just, yes sir, on the mark, sir, yes, like, just over and over again. Alright, get our Air Force Command here. That way we can start dropping paratroopers. Actually, I'm going to get another power plant at this point, get some walls going, get some more GIs. Oh, look at that. There's a box right here, a mystery box. See what this is. Ooh, that's a prism tank. There's another one. Holy cow. Okay, that's just health. Cool. Yeah, prism tanks are pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, let's move these guys here. This guy's going right here. And we're already running low on money. One of the most unfortunate feelings in this game. Alright, I think yeah, we got some walls going. Let's secure our construction yard, get another power plant going. And What are we building? Walls? Are we training any units? No. Okay. Actually, we're not going to get Harriers yet. It has been a little bit since I've played some Command & Conquer, so I got to get back in the groove here, if you know what I mean. But we will... Oh, no! Do we have something blocking the yard there? I think we do. Oh, that's annoying. Alright, well, we can move it. Do we want to... Oh, there's just a guy there. Okay, get out of the way, dude. See if it opens up right. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. We're about to get paratroopers. Oh, these guys. We really got to get these guys going. There we go. Yeah, your construction yard is like your most valuable structure you have in the game. There are ways to regenerate them and to build new MCVs, which is like when it's that, you know, vehicle that like moves around before you create the yard out of it. But you have to have a war factory, which we should build, and a repair depot. If you have those two things, then you can lose this and be fine. But if you lose this and you don't have a way of creating one, you're kind of screwed unless you just happen to have a bunch of units. I mean, you're not necessarily screwed. If you still have like your war factory and your barracks, you can make a bunch of units and still attack the enemy. You can survive for a bit. But if your stuff gets destroyed, you can't build anything else. So... Okay, we're just kind of, you know, I would usually not really play the offensive early game. I would just wait for them to come and attack me, which you can see they're doing right now. Those annoying freaking spider things that get underneath tanks. So we're gonna, why don't we get into that building? We'll garrison that. Build our war factory back here. We'll get another chrono miner. Actually, how much, isn't the... Oh yeah, it's $600 more for the ore refiner itself, which comes with a chrono miner. But I think we're just going to build another ore refinery. And why don't we send these two tanks and just kind of go up here and explore and see what we got going on. They'll kind of be our sacrificial units there, unfortunately for them. I think leaving this here is probably fine. Or just, yeah, put it back here. Yeah, there's their... Tesla coils and all that, or not Tesla coils, your Tesla reactor. The Tesla coils, which are annoying, are just, they shoot lightning at you. One thing I would hate about playing against America is the CPUs would always just drop frickin' paratroopers over your base every frickin' 10 seconds. It would get so annoying. I would always use the, like, paratroopers as, like, defense to just build up your defenses around your base. Which, oh, and look at that, they're already sending engineers to try and capture my stuff. We'll just put these guys right here. And almost have our new ore refinery. We'll put this one a little bit... Actually, is there any more ore, like, down here? Oof. Well... Let's just put it there. And, send this one to here. We're actually just gonna sell the old one. We don't need it anymore. And that way, these guys have a little bit, less to drive. So it's a little bit more efficient. Well, we'll wait for the battle lab because I want to start getting some Mirage and Prism tanks. Those are, like, the two units I usually send into stuff. So now we've got Mirage tanks and Prism tanks. And we got reinforcements. Look at that. So, here they come. We got some more ore up here. Oh, we can get a spy satellite, too. Awesome. Alright, yeah, get him. There we go. And this dude's really just chilling there, isn't he? Yeah, that's not going to work out too well for you, my guy. Well, they seem to be coming down this one route. So, let's just kind of fortify around there. Maybe add some more to this building. More to here. And... I know I said I wasn't gonna make this entire video about this game, but I mean, you know, I'll probably just cut throughout parts of it. That probably makes the most sense. I'll try to actually win here, but just not make you guys sit through everything. So it looks like they got a paratrooper or a air base because they can now send paratroopers. Just like this thing over here, they can capture stuff. So Let's see. They're gonna get in here. There we go. We got them. Pretty much. So, alright, let me get some these guys moving back here. Should have just brought them over earlier. But alright, so we got some Mirage tanks, got some Prism tanks going. Mirage tanks are great. If I haven't already explained what they do, they turn into trees. You see how they're like fading there? The enemy just sees them as trees when they're not moving. So you can kind of just hide them. So let's maybe, you know, get them like right here. I've got like a whole bunch of tanks over here, right? Why don't we just, let's start sending these guys. I want to do a bit of an attack here. Build up some units. So I think this is a pretty good unit selection here. Let's just move these guys up here and start blowing stuff up. See how much damage we can do. It's like that one other tank. Can we get their war factory? Yes, we can. Can we get their yard? See if we can get their yard. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah. Oh, there we go, there we go. Alright. Now, usually if we can get their barracks, they'll just surrender because they can't do anything. So I think from this point, I mean, we can just blow up this other stuff, but they're going to probably just surrender here momentarily because they can't do anything. So let's see. Let's wait for it. Let's wait for the moment. Sure, we'll drop some reinforcements over here. Because they're flying. There it is. And we're victorious. Heck yeah. So, yeah, that's a little round of Command and Conquer. Maybe we should make that a new rule on this channel. But, well, I don't know. Because these games take considerably longer than just sitting in the Black Mesa transit system for a little while. But, yeah, I mean, there you have it. That is this really neat little PC. The new $5 PC, perhaps we can call it. I honestly don't know really what to do with this. I mean, it very well may end up in a future video project just as like a computer to use to install some OS on or something. But it's really neat. And, you know, if anybody out there happens to also own one of these and you have like the original hard drive image, be sure to let me know, because I would love to take a look at, you know, trying to use this thing for its originally intended purpose and setting up like a digital signage network of sorts. But yeah, that is pretty much all that I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, get subscribed, maybe consider becoming a patron or a channel member to get early access to these videos before anybody else. But either way, I just want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.